welcome to Bastard Quest. I'm your game bastard, Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.
Today we are continuing our adventure of Delta Green. In case you don't know, Delta Green is a Lovecraftian investigative role-playing game.
Very different from the Delta Burke role-playing game.
Yeah, honestly, when we played that, I was very disappointed. It takes place in the modern era. You are government investigators hunting down bits of the mythos popularized by H.P. Lovecraft and such games as Call of Cthulhu. The trademark on that has expired, which is why everybody makes Call of Cthulhu games now.
Yeah.
And we
Oh,
played.
I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's public domain.
Yeah.
Well, I know the story is. I just didn't realize. Does that affect the publishing rights to the Chaosium game?
Well, you couldn't make a Call of Cthulhu game based on what Chaosium has done.
Yeah.
But you could make a Call of Cthulhu RPG.
Just based on any of the work. All of his works are in public domain.
Correct. Yeah. So you couldn't just, copy text
Okay,
from
I see what you're
Chaosium's
saying.
RPG, but yeah.
I have a quick suggestion. There used to be, I don't know if they're still on or not, but there used to be those Bigfoot and Sasquatch hunter TV shows on, and like
Bigfoot hunter.
Yeah, the guys would be like, ooh, it's feeling really squatchy tonight. So I think we should popularize the phrase, it's very Cthulhu tonight.
Well, that or Thulin. Here's the thing. I think this is the fourth or fifth Cthulhu game we've played.
Played a couple.
And we've yet to meet a Cthulhu.
Yeah,
Everything but.
we have not confronted them yet.
Well, I guess if you meet Cthulhu, the game's kind of over.
Yeah. Which is perfect for us because we're
It's true.
short-term gaming.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. At the end of this adventure, Call of
gonna meet him.
Cthulhu will show up and be like, I brought beer.
Sweep the board.
Turns out Cthulhu's the chillest bro.
I've said this. I
mean-
never gleaned the unfathomable evil that everybody talks about from Lovecraft. I always thought it sounded like a kegger.
We go to very different keggers.
We're going fleshing. That's what we used to say.
Was that what it was? Yeah.
At our dark keggers.
Sure. It's a dark kegger.
Dark keggers. Jesus Christ.
We always called them Eldritch Hee-Haws.
Got it.
Yog Suggarth.
Cthulhu nannies.
So, if you're just joining us, this is our second Delta Green episode. We started playing this arc last episode, so I recommend going back to that. The rules of Delta Green are pretty similar to Call of Cthulhu, so if you're familiar with Call of Cthulhu, you should pick it up right away.
Plus, we explained it in the first episode.
Plus, we explained it in the first episode, so there you go. So, after your investigation last episode, you're in the park. You'd made contact with the head ranger of the area, Nicola Richter. And Todd, your character...
My character's name is Emily LaBarbara, codename Agent Sellers. She's a mob doctor.
Yeah, she's in the ranger station in a room that they set aside for Dave, 6-year-old boy. But meanwhile, out in the woods, in the midst of a terrible storm, Agent Stewart and Agent Randolph found another boy that looks exactly like Dave Evans in the middle of the woods, naked. The rain is coming down. There's that constant patter you hear when you're in the woods and it's raining from the rain hitting the leaves. But it's enough of a downpour that you're still drenched, even though the two of you are out in the woods. It's night. It's dark. You can't see anything. For those of you that might be from the city, I don't know if you've ever been in the woods at night. I assure you, it is nothing like in the movies. You could see literally nothing.
There's not a light just over the hill.
Yeah. So we'll say one of you was fortunate enough to bring a flashlight out of the truck. Otherwise, you would never have ran this kid down. And I believe Corey's character, Agent Randolph, which is a code name, was the one who actually caught up to Evans. Is that right, Corey?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, I fell behind.
You guys saw this shape of the woods and you ran after it. You just grabbed the shoulder, spun it around, and have seen that it is just the spitting image of the kid you left back at the ranger station.
So before Stewart got there, because he was lagging a little behind, Randolph had done his best to cover the boy.
Sure.
He had a hat on, so he put that on.
Yeah.
The child. Dave
Well,
Evans.
yeah. You also have a poncho.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not.
Yeah. We don't want to go crazy here.
No.
Now, of course, the Dave Evans back at the ranger station, they did get him clothes, but he was found naked.
Right, and we are not aware of everything that Todd's character is found out. So
No,
Yeah.
the physical examination that Sellers conducted was at the same time that Randolph and Stewart were out.
right. So I'm not
looking
trying
over
to
the
push
crime
his
scene.
neck button or anything like that. So
Yeah, Sellers found a strange tattoo on the back of Evan's neck.
So we pretty much just think Dave Evans escaped, returned to his roots as a naked man or boy and young man. And
Yeah, they're-
scampered back into the woods from whence he came.
I mean, that would be the entirely logical conclusion.
Yeah.
So there's a flash of thunder. Stewart catches up to Randolph. The Jeep is on the road in the distance. The park ranger, Stephen Ryder's in it. The lights are casting some illumination around you.
Randolph, what the hell's going on here? Did Mowgli just head back out for the woods?
So Dave Evans is looking up at you, 6 years old, looks confused. Who are you guys?
Wait, you met us once already.
I gotta find my parents. I'm lost, I think.
What do you mean you're lost? We just saw you up at the ranger station.
What is your name?
My name's Dave. We're camping. And he kind of points to the west. We're camping over there, I think.
Haven't you been at the ranger station tonight?
No, I don't know where that is. I just saw if there was a light and I followed it and we're camping.
What sort of light there? Don't lie or I'll beat you senseless. It's the 90s. It's still allowed. Well, my boy, let's get you in the car, I reckon.
Yeah, we need to get you checked out. This is strange.
It's wet.
Oh,
It is.
So somebody's going to need to make a persuade because he's looking at you and you can see him mumbling stranger danger.
All right, come with us. We've got hot chocolate over at the ranger station.
I assure you, neither of us are Albert Fish.
Why don't you just offer him candy and puppies, Austin? So roll your persuade, one of you.
Okay.
We also do not play tabletop role-playing games or whatever evils are lurking around.
Oh, yeah, this is the 90s, so an old...
I think there's
We're at the
still
tail end of the satanic.
there's
Yeah.
still some lingering disapproval
Sure.
of
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
fun
There's
games.
still some Jack Chick tracks
yeah,
for sure.
circulating.
Yeah. All right, I've got persuade of 50. It's a 15.
Okay. Are you going to take me back to my parents?
If we can find them, we sure will.
Okay. So he goes with you. I don't know what happened to my clothes.
Yeah, you could have my poncho.
So you guys get him in the Jeep, and the kid gets in. Ranger Ryder looks around. How did you get out of the ranger station? Look at the kid, and the kid is just completely baffled by that. Like,
Plus, he can't speak because he's in an oversized poncho and he's smothering to death.
yeah, he's slowly suffocating.
Oh, yeah, Agent Stewart is not a slight fella.
So Todd, roll your alertness.
My alertness is 50, and I rolled a 29.
It's getting late. Sellers completed her medical examination of Evans. He says he's tired. He wants to go to sleep. So he rolls over in the bunk. They'd had him in a Ranger bunk room. And you go out and you're talking to Ranger Richter in his office. And he's talking about the storm has knocked out the phone lines, but they're still picking up National Weather Service broadcasts. He's telling you about, the preparations they've been taking to keep the campers safe. You watch as there's a coffee mug on his desk, and it just slowly is moving, sliding smoothly, silently towards the edge of the table, just almost imperceptibly. He hadn't set it far from the edge of the table, maybe 5 or 6 inches.
He's got one of those invisible cats.
Yeah, it's an invisible cat. But it's just moving slowly. Part of it slips over the side of the edge, still kind of moving out. And then at one point, it is almost floating totally in midair with just the barest hint of the coffee mug on the table. And Richter has not noticed this. And then it just collapses and shatters on the floor, and he jumps. Gosh, I must have set it. And he's cleaning up coffee and scraping pieces of ceramic toward the wastebasket. That's when you hear the Jeep honking its horn outside as the Ranger Rider, Randolph, and Stewart arrive.
You know what this reminds me of? This is like that time in that movie Carrie where she goes to the principal's office and he keeps calling her Cassie instead of Carrie repeatedly, and she screams, "My name is Carrie, not Cassie," and the ashtray flips up and falls in the floor and shatters. So I'm thinking there's some telekinesis at play here.
Ranger Richter looks up at you, looks up at his spilled coffee. Okay, tell you what, why don't you go meet your other government agent partners, and I'll just get this coffee that I knocked over cleaned up.
Okay, sure, I have it your way.
So you go out of the office just as Randolph and Stewart are coming in with the Ranger and Dave Evans in a poncho, soaking wet.
He's naked underneath this.
Now, this is in the main room of the ranger station, which is kind of an open area. There's lots of campers taking shelter from the storm in here.
All right, hold on, stop. Wait a minute. Why did you guys take little Dave out of his bunk?
Well, we didn't take him. We think he got out somehow.
He was scampering through the woods like a fool.
He would have had to walk past me. There's no way. He should be in his bed sleeping right now. How did he get out?
Perhaps through the window or through a chimney top.
Is
Or
there-
perhaps he burrowed out of the building. I've seen stranger things in my life. Not the show yet. It's not out.
Is there any way out of that bunk room he was staying in?
Hold on, let me go check. And so, Agent Sellers is going to run to the bunk room and check on Dave.
You go in, Dave is asleep in his bunk. The TV's on, but it's static. And you do see the rabbit ears on the TV are slowly moving back and forth like they're trying to find a signal, which the last time you checked, they didn't move of their own volition.
It's creepy as shit.
I think at this point we exchange information. I'm sure Todd shares what information he found out, the tattoos and whatnot.
Well, before you can do any of that, the Dave Evans that Randolph and Stewart brought back starts to panic a bit. We need to go. My parents are camping. Why are we here?
It's the 90s. Get the Thorazine. Drug the child. It's just ADD. Rub a drug on him.
And he's going to try to run out of the ranger station back to where he thinks his parents are camping.
Okay, we're definitely tackling him or drop kicking him or something.
I mean, I feel like you can do whichever you wish, but he's running. So who's going to try to catch him?
I know one of us had Wonder Woman's golden lasso of truth. Is
Yeah.
that true, Austin?
Yeah.
So I have unarmed combat of 60.
Armed?
Unarmed combat.
Oh, unarmed. I started to say, what, we're going to shoot the kid?
Yeah, just kick him in the Achilles tendon.
Just wing him.
Yeah.
I believe Sellers has child endangerment at 35%. No. So you're going to try to physically restrain him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to roll first, then I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Yeah, you're the most qualified as a mailman to do this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They wrangle children all the time.
Goddamn right.
Agent Stewart definitely takes karate at some strip mall.
They're definitely
yeah.
the federal babysitters of the United
Yeah.
States.
Yeah, it's Judy's Dojo.
Yeah.
All right. Roll your dice.
Oh, I failed. It's a
What'd you-
76.
Well, you had to beat him. He rolled a 77.
Oh!
What?
I'm not even kidding. I wish I could punish Austin, but unfortunately, no. I rolled before Austin did. I rolled a 77. I
Wow.
thought there's no way Austin could miss this now, and he got so close.
So as the new Dave Evans makes a run for the door, Stewart just kind of sticks his foot out and trips him.
And because it's a 76 to a 77, it does not go that smoothly.
No,
It's
no.
a trip, and then Stewart trips. It's a Benny Hill scene. People are running. People are trying to get the kid. I'll get him, somebody says. And they fall over and crack their head open on a
Quit
picnic
it.
table.
Hold still.
Finally, you get him restrained, manage to stop him from screaming and assure him that you're going to get his parents, but he is fit to be tied, as they say.
Randolph puts him in the Boston Crab.
All right, look, I don't know. I just got a weird feeling. I think we need to take this Dave Evans and take him into the bunk room and show him to the other Dave Evans. Maybe it'll create some kind of synergy that'll give us some idea of what's going on here.
Well, yes, I understand you're a medical doctor, but I myself am a theoretical physicist, so I think I should take the lead here. First off, we rub them together and see if they're matter and antimatter versions of themselves.
So everyone roll your alertness.
Okay. Mine's a 12.
Mine's a 50 and I rolled a 60, so fail.
Yeah, mine's a 40 and I rolled a 44, so also fail.
So as I said, you guys are in the main room of this ranger station, which this was a lodge back in the 50s. And so this common room. It's not furnished like it was back in the day, but there's picnic tables and there's room for people to spread out, which a lot of the campers did just to get out of the rain. And while the three of you have Dave 2, for lack of a better word, Stewart is kind of surveying the room. Then he gets his attention pulled away by Sellers disclosing what she found on Evans. And out of the corner of your eye, you notice a camper, a middle-aged man, kind of nondescript, slip into the bunk room where Dave Evans is sleeping. and the door clicks shut as he closes it behind himself.
Hey, you there! Stop! Stuart's gonna kind of run for the door.
You run. It doesn't have a lock on it.
Okay. Stuart kicks it open anyway.
There's a nondescript man, camper, dark hair, grabbing Dave Evans, Dave 1, pulling him out of bed. Come on. What's going on? Dave is panicky. Who are you? Come on, it's time to go. This guy's kind of talking very flat, very monotone. He's got one hand around Dave's wrist, and he's pulling him out of bed.
Okay, if anybody is quick on the draw, even if he's not very good at it, it's Agent Stewart. I'm shooting this man.
Excellent.
All part of that post office training.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Roll your gun.
Okay, I have a firearm skill of 50, and I'm going to be aiming for his kneecaps.
Whose?
The kids. No, I'm aiming for the camper.
Yeah, so you're at point blank range, so you're going to get a plus 20%,
Okay.
which will counteract the penalty for a called shot.
Okay. Well, it's a 71.
The bullet enters the temple of the camper.
Jesus.
Oh, God.
What gun are you? What kind of gun does the postal inspector have?
It's a 44 Magnum.
Yeah, it blows the left side of his brain and skull out onto the wall. Well, some of it does get on Dave Evans, who's now screaming.
That's okay. I've rescued you.
Austin, roll a dodge.
Oh, okay. That's a 30%. Well, that's a 10.
You find yourself flying through the air, out through the doorway that you just came through,
Oh, no.
and you are able to twist your body to just catch the picnic table with your shoulder and ribs instead of your head. Something physically flung you out of the room, along with the body of the, well, now dead camper intruder, and slammed the door shut into Dave Evans' room. And you can still hear the boy screaming and freaking out over what happened. And he's not the only one. All the other campers in the room are also panicking, running around, pointing and shooting, because this is the 90s, not like today where everyone would be armed.
Calm down, everyone. I'm a theoretical physicist from FedEx.
I think he said he's a communist.
Now, these things happen quite a bit in Kentucky, for damn sure.
The body of the man that was just shot through the brain is twitching and shitting itself noisily on the floor beside Stewart.
Yeah, but that's in the other room. The campers don't see that.
Yeah, they got thrown out into the room where you guys are.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Disregard what I just said. Everyone shit themselves.
Yeah, so Stewart got thrown out into a picnic table, and the camper's body was thrown out as well.
All right, you guys take care of that door. I'm going to go through this dead guy's pockets.
Agent Sellers, obviously more concerned about the child on the other side of the door. She's going to run to the door and try to open it.
It does open.
Okay. So she runs in to check on little Dave. Dave 1. Dave Prime.
Dave 1 is covered in blood, understandably distraught. What's
course.
going on? What happened? What's going on?
I'm going to use Persuade to calm the child down.
So you can have a bonus because you've already interacted with him and he trusts you, plus 25%.
Okay, so that makes me 95% in Persuade.
Damn.
Okay.
And I rolled a 57.
You managed to get him calmed down, get him cleaned up a little bit. Sellers is doing that. What are Randolph and Stewart doing out in the room that is still full of bedlam? The Rangers have come in. They're trying to figure out what's going on. They have their hands on their sidearms. They're looking at you two very suspiciously right now. What the hell happened?
I agree.
This guy snuck into the ranger station and tried to kidnap Brian number 1.
What?
Yeah, well, you see that kid right there? Well, there's another one of them in the bunk room in there. And one of the campers tried to sneak into the station and kidnap him. So I shot him.
Between you and me, Ranger, I'm on your side. If we need to shoot everyone else in this room, we must do it.
But Stewart is going through the pockets of the camper that he eviscerated on accident. We were hoping for a live witness, but all I can hope for now is to be able to find some evidence on his corpse.
You find his wallet. He's from Lexington, Kentucky. He's a dentist.
Oh,
There's,
no.
Pictures of family.
So the enemy,
yeah.
you're saying. Okay.
So I can find safe haven in Louisville, is what you're saying.
There's apparently nothing to indicate he's anything other than what he appears to be, which is a camper.
Randolph raises his official badge because we have those, because we do work for the government and they give
Yeah.
us fake shit.
Yeah.
Like, Everything's under control. Don't worry. Just a bit of fun in the rain. We're going to go in here. I think we should go into the room where the child is with,
Okay.
with Sellers.
Okay, what are you going to do with Dave number 2?
Oh, Dave 2's coming with us.
Okay.
Agree. Yeah. I want to see what happens when we get them together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
So Richter is calling it in, trying to contact higher authorities. You guys go into the bunk room where Sellers and Dave number 1 is. Number 2 comes in. I don't know where we're gonna go see my parents. He and Dave number 1 lock eyes and are just staring at each other, just slack jawed.
Dave off! Do they fight?
No, both
okay.
of them just have no idea what to make of the situation.
Sellers reaches behind Dave number 1's neck and pushes the button.
Nothing happens.
Damn it.
He kind of notices you did it, reaches up and scratches the back of his neck.
So Randolph's going to check out to see if there are similar things happening with Dave 2.
There's nothing on the back of his neck.
Okay.
So there's a knock on the door to the bunk room.
Come in.
The door opens. It's a middle-aged woman dressed like a camper. She's got a fanny pack on. She's a little wet from the rain. How y'all doing tonight? I'm Mary Hill.
Hello, Mary. Welcome to the crazy room.
Sure. You did shoot my boyfriend, but that's okay.
Stuart cocks his pistol.
I carry a message. I'm a conduit.
I can't do it from what?
Well, it doesn't really matter, honey. What matters is that sweet little Dave needs to get back to the people he belongs with.
I'm sorry, but which Dave are you referring to? Because we got 2 of them in here.
She points at Dave number 1. And the Deep Masters have gloriously allowed a substitute, and she gestures towards Dave number 2, to take his place so that you can conduct your primitive, heathen affairs unmolested. Just send this substitute back and we'll take the prime candidate.
Sellers protectively moves in front of Dave number 1 and says, "Over my dead body will you take this child?"
We are prepared to kill every man, woman, and child in this ranger station.
Who's this we?
I said I'm a conduit. I won't be pulling any triggers.
There's a sound of a gunshot, and Stuart shoots Mary.
You're going to shoot Mary Hill?
I'm shooting the messenger.
Damn. The Patreon member, Mary Hill. Apologies.
Thanks, Mary.
I won't make you roll.
Okay.
Her brain splatters splatters the door.
I'm tired of this.
Dead Marys?
I mean, they're stacking up like cordwood.
In my defense, I didn't kill this one.
I mean, there's more dead Marys than Daves. That's for damn sure.
Well, actually, how many Mary Hills have you killed, Austin?
Just the 2.
Are you sure
Are you
about
sure?
that?
I'm pretty sure. The first was on accident. This one's very much on purpose.
Jesus.
So the body slumps. Both of the Daves are pretty traumatized at this point, so neither of them react.
I want to get Austin a t-shirt that says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of Mary."
And she's dead, and nothing immediately happens in the aftermath of her death.
Well, it's obvious what's going on here. It's much like that wonderful Michael Keaton vehicle from a few years back. Multiplicity is happening here. That turned out good, if I remember correctly.
There's a terrible crashing sounds from outside. At first you think it's some kind of thunder or maybe something blew in the wind. And outside, of course, is the parking lot. The campers have their vehicles. And you can see in the flashes of illuminated lightning, cars being thrown into the woods, smashing into trees, being twisted by some unseen force.
Look, Agent Stewart, I'm not one to tell anybody their business, but I think with all the gunplay and everything, you pissed something off royally.
That's okay. It could come in the ranger station and we'll shoot it too.
Did it get the Bronco?
The Bronco is upside down in a pine tree.
Shit.
All right, well, Stewart, why don't you just run out there with your gun and, take care of it?
Okay, yeah, I'll go first. You guys cover by 6.
Okay, nice knowing you.
Are you going outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Look at him go.
Stuart steps outside the ranger station.
Stuart is a foolhardy imbecile. Let's make that clear.
In Stewart's head, he's hearing "There Goes My Hero" by the Foo Fighters. And meanwhile, Randolph and Sellers are just hearing "Yakety Sax" by Boots Randolph.
So the parking lot is a wreck. There's cars smashed into each other, up against trees. flipped over. The rain is coming down in sheets. Most of it is, at this point, horizontal, it feels like, as it's slapping into the side of your face. Wind is whipping around the side of the ranger station, leaves and sticks flying through the air. And, of course, this is in the middle of the night, so you can barely see anything. You don't see anyone in the parking lot, though there's lots of people pressing against the windows from inside watching this happen, and everyone is thinking this is some sort of F5 tornado about to come through, but
And sees this idiot out pointing a gun at it.
yeah, he's gonna shoot the storm, Papa. But again, there's no immediate reaction to Stuart being outside or waving a firearm about.
Stuart's going to use a little ingenuity here.
Do tell.
Oh boy.
So what I want to do is take our EMF reader from before and kind of fasten it to the gun where I could at least get a reading on what I'm looking at whenever I'm pointing the gun around. We at least know we're dealing with something invisible, so Stuart might be at least trigger happy enough to just pop off a couple rounds anytime he sees the needle jump.
So you turn the EMF reader on, and the needle is buried, and it's hard to get an exact track on anything in any particular direction. Just whatever electromagnetic force it's picking up is just ringing the ranger station. So yeah, there's no specific like invisible presence that it detects in the corner or anything like that.
Okay. Well, I continue searching around for whatever this monster is.
All right, roll your search as you're making a circuit around the ranger station.
Okay. That's a 44.
You find more footprints, smaller ones, like you did previously, kind of moving around the edges, the tree line. And then there are even larger ones, like what you would think of as a Bigfoot footprint, for lack of a better word. Some very large person. And at least 2, maybe 3 sets of those, you're not sure.
Are they in a small enough kind of field where I might be able to kind of track their presence around the ranger station?
No, you don't find, so you do see tracks of the smaller footprints, but the larger ones you don't. You just catch one here or there.
Gotcha. Okay. So then Stuart's going to retreat back to the ranger station, kind of keeping his gun poised.
So as you come back, Ranger Richter and Ryder are waiting for you, and their guns are drawn, leveled at you. Look, I don't know what kind of federal agent you are, but you've shot 2 people. Put the gun down and come with us quietly.
Rangers, I ask for your patience in this matter. I understand this man is a fool, but you must understand he works for the USPS.
So they are trying to arrest you, and they don't appear to be under any sort of undue influence that you could obviously detect.
You guys don't understand. See, these two people were acolytes of these Eldridge beings or whatever these things are that sent 2 Daves back. Did you see we got 2 Daves? Did y'all notice that?
They look at each other. What are you talking about?
Look over at the 2 kids.
So this is taking place outside the ranger station. The Daves are still back in the bunk room. They essentially just are demanding that Stuart put his gun down and turn himself over to them.
Okay, well, if you guys want to hang on to my gun, I encourage you to keep it out, but I'll give it to you.
So Richter takes it, and they handcuff Stuart.
Cool. I'll go quietly. I'm good.
So the 2 of them, Richter and Ryder, walk Stuart into the bunk room. He's handcuffed. Richter walks in. Look, I know you guys are federal agents, but 2 people are dead. He gestures at the body of Mary Hill on the floor and outside. Ryder comes in, closes the door behind him, and he's looking at the 2 Daves and is blinking. And I don't know what's going on here, but can we just stop shooting campers? And it seems like he's going to say more, but then his head explodes because Steven Ryder just shot him.
Oh, hello.
And then he grabs Stuart, puts the gun up against his head, and says, "Gentlemen, our earlier offer was quite generous.
Well, shit.
Keep the second Dave, and give us the first one, and no one else has to die. We know that you, simple people, enjoy your lives."
So Randolph's going to choose to do a different approach as opposed to what the fine people of the Postal Service are used to.
Yeah.
He makes a nice cup of chamomile tea and hopes he goes to sleep soon instead of just killing the poor man. Dear Lord.
Agent Sellers grabs Dave number 1, draws her 9mm, puts it to his head, and says, "You're gonna lose this one if you shoot that one that you've got."
Well, that would be very unfortunate, Agent Sellers. We would prefer to keep that, Dave.
I would prefer to keep Agent Stewart. Don't ask me why.
I'm going to leave.
Of course. You're welcome to leave. Ryder pushes Stewart and himself out of the way of the door. Enjoy the children of the forest.
Yes, they are the mortal enemies of the White Walkers. That one's been written, I think. I don't know. He only writes one about every 35 years. So.
It was the first book was written in the early 90s. So
See, you guys, this is why I don't fuck around with the outdoors.
the Daves are just all traumatized into inaction. The Dave number one who just keeps looking up at Sellers and the gun. And so Ryder steps back. I'll give you three some time to mull over your options. No need to shoot the golden child, but if we don't have it by dawn, the stakes will be raised. And he closes the door and leaves the bunk room. You can hear people screaming as he goes out.
Leaving me inside?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, you guys, I lost my gun.
Agent Sellers puts her gun away and says, I'm sorry, baby, but this is adult stuff. Maybe you don't understand it right now, but I had to protect my friend. I was never really going to do anything to hurt you.
Yes, it was just a gun to the head joke, my good boy.
So Austin Stewart's gun was on Richter's body.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, he'd taken it and put it in his
And I assume
belt.
the handcuff keys as well, so we can...
Yep.
Got it.
Hey, you guys, I found my gun.
All right, so you guys are in the bunk room, the two Daves.
I think the move here, Randolph's going to kind of survey out the window to see if there are any vehicles that weren't completely destroyed.
Roll your search.
Okay, it's 40%. 75.
So you don't see anything in the immediate parking lot.
No way.
But in the distance on a hill, you can see a
Cobra Rattler coming in.
rattler coming in. You can see one of those fire watch stations, the towers that are in national parks, and there's a Ranger Jeep at the bottom of it. It's probably a mile away, and it seems to be in good condition.
I think our only choice is to make it or break it, fellas. We'll take both of these Daves with us.
Sounds like a great idea to me. Let's go.
Get every gun in the place.
So the three of you and the two Daves head out into the storm towards the distant Ranger Jeep on the hill. Which of you is closest to Dave 1 and which of you is closest to Dave 2?
Sellers is closest to Dave 1.
Okay.
Well, it's been established Randolph doesn't like children,
Sure.
so no.
So then Agent Stewart holds the hand of Dave 2, who looks very concerned.
Well,
as I escort us up with my gun fully out and up.
Dave 2 has a number of concerns at this point. All far too sophisticated for a 6-year-old brain to fully formulate.
Hey, so Dave 1's fine? He just had a gun to his head.
He's already called Child Protective Services.
Okay, good.
So to say, we know what the real one, which one the real one is now, right? They took one, they won him back, and they made a copy of him to satiate our world. Or
We
whatever.
think things.
I mean,
Yeah.
that was how I took it, but it's Cthulhu. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, they could both be copies.
Yeah, that's true.
So the five of you, I guess, hustle through the ruined parking lot, through the wood line towards the hill. You're climbing this hill, which is a barren hill, just grass, no trees, and you hear a sound behind you. You look back, and there's this tall, spindly figure standing in the tree line. It must be 9 or 10 feet tall. It's difficult to make out any significant distinguishing characteristics because of the darkness. It raises a hand, points, and lets out this bellow that sounds kind of like Osadagawa. And both of the Daves cover their ears and start crying. And then from the bushes emerge small humanoid creatures, maybe 3 or 4 feet tall. They're children. They are gray-skinned, covered in weeping sores, shambling and screeching. Their eyes are sunken pits, choked with cataracts. They're essentially zombie children. And they start careening and scampering up the hill towards you, howling.
I don't care for that. Let's move on.
So, fight or flight?
Oh, run for sure.
Yes. Yes.
To hell with you, Minute Bowl.
I mean, I get it. So what skill are you guys using to escape? So if you guys are just fleeing, I think athletics makes the most sense.
I don't have athletics. I do have a general dex of 65%. Can I roll that?
Sure.
Yeah, because my dex actually has a distinguishing feature that says surprisingly fleet of foot.
Surprisingly.
Well, dogs.
Yeah, so you can roll athletics or dexterity, whichever you prefer.
Okay. Randolph's dexterity is 70 with a distinguishing feature of graceful.
Nice.
The graceful physicist, yes.
And Sellers is 65% with a distinguishing feature of nimble fingers.
That should work well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a 30.
I rolled a 20.
I rolled a 77.
Your fingers fall off.
So you guys are running up the hill. These monstrous children are chasing after you, caterwauling like banshees, as my mama used to say. And two of them scramble and leap and wrap themselves around Sellers, biting and clawing. Todd, Sellers takes 2 damage. This zombie child sinks its teeth into her thigh, is just gnawing, trying to bear her to the ground. Oh, also everybody needs to make willpower checks for sanity checks. Excuse me. Everybody needs to make sanity checks for these facing these zombie children.
Okay. Trying to beat a 65.
My current sanity is 58.
My current sanity is 55.
Oh, I had a 64.
Got 18.
66.
If you passed, you lose 1 point of sanity.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
If you failed, you lose 2, actually.
So I'm now at 53.
Randolph and Stuart watch as Dave number 1 shouts no and turns and tries to help Sellers, who's falling behind. And the giant creature striding up the hillside points and enunciates, and these terrible children start to close in on Dave number 1.
I love how Dave number 1 is like, no, save that woman who just had a gun to my fucking head. Like, that's the most love I ever felt in my life.
It was
had
the
a-
90s.
He's had a hard 20 years, even if he doesn't remember all of it.
Tarantino fucked some shit up in
Yeah.
some young brains.
What are you guys going to do?
I guess the best thing to do here is to try to grab Sellers and Dave 1 and Dave 2. Maybe we all lock arms and go prancing through the fucking meadows in a Cthulhu game.
Well, Dave 2 is with Stuart and is, sprinting ahead. He has no connections to Sellers or the zombie children.
Right. Can we just
clinging
do a
to her
cop?
like mollusks?
Can we just do like a cop out thing in some of these lame movies? Interstellar comes to mind, where the power of love saves the day or something like that,
You can try the power of love.
where we lock arms and
I'll tell you what, Corey. If you want to jump in and grab the kid, I'll try to jump over and get the zombies off of Sellers.
no. He doesn't like children. This is canon.
Okay, what's your combat ratings? Firearms and unarmed combat.
I've got decent combat, unarmed and armed.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a
It's
physicist.
a physicist, Austin.
Of course.
You know our physicist friends, Chuck and Perry.
I'll never
They're always out there at the gun range.
I'll never forget the day the first physicist division stormed Utah Beach.
They invented gun.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot we nicknamed them Perry and Lunge.
Okay.
All right, so what's the plan?
All right, so we'll switch then. I can jump in and grab the kid if you want to try and rescue
I
Sellers.
don't want to touch that.
Okay, what do you propose?
Yeah, Randolph's going to help Sellers. You help Child.
Okay.
Okay,
You dual-wield Child.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
so Corey,
Child akimbo.
what is Randolph doing to get these zombie children off of Sellers?
Well, it's the 90s, so it's still believed by most that you can spray alcohol on something and light it on fire and it will burst into flames.
Sure.
I mean, like Desperado and all those movies were still, you could break some bottles in the bar to keep the zombies away or whatever. Like,
Sure.
It
Oh,
would
yeah.
absolutely not work.
Yeah.
But so one of the items Randolph has, he keeps his flask on him at all times and tries to like spray some. It's a big flask.
Yeah.
His fine Kentucky bourbon towards the zombie kids and
Okay.
light it on fire with his Zippo.
Yeah, you could do that.
So yeah, I'm gonna do that and try to help Sellers.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess would this be kind of a Dex thing?
Yeah, dexterity could play a role here. Trying to do multiple things at once with your natural physicist
Yeah, because the specialized skills, like, there is not much, like...
They don't have bourbon
They
flamethrower?
don't.
Weird.
And my distinguished feature is graceful, so...
Yeah.
Well, that's a 70. Well, sir, that's a 95.
You splash alcohol through the air.
And then I remember that belongs in me tum-tum.
Light it. And this is fictional. This is cinematic, right? So there is this burst of
Thank
flame.
you for telling us
Yeah.
that. I was going to have bad dreams tonight.
Well, I mean, we're not going with total realism, right?
Okay.
So there is that burst of flame. The children hiss and scream, and so does Sellers, because she took most of the bourbon.
Oh.
So, Todd, you take 3 points of damage and are on fire. Austin, you're trying to grab Dave number 1.
Yeah, so I've let Dave number 2 scamper on up
Yeah, he's hauling.
and just falling back to scoop up Dave number 1 and keep my pistol whipping around to cover us as we make our escape.
I mean, you could always use your firearm skill to just shoot down the zombie kids.
Yeah, I'll give that a try while I'm picking him up. Trying to be a 50.
They're running straight up at you, so
Okay.
they're all at point blank range. So that's a 20% bonus.
Cool. It's a 48.
Maybe Stuart will be on The Walking Dead in the future. You're not sure, but he's headshotting children,
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
just dropping these, terrible beasts on the side of the hill. Scoops up Dave number 1, sprinting towards the Jeep. Dave 2, Dave 1 in Stuart's arms and Stuart are closing on the Jeep at the fire watch post on the hill. Sellers is on fire. More of the zombie children are pouring out of the woods, and they're focusing on Randolph and Sellers as one of them is silhouetted by flame.
Surely the rain is helping us eventually.
Well, it's an alcohol fire.
Yeah, that's true.
It just makes it
a
worse.
90s alcohol fire.
Yes.
It's Van Halen's Cabo Wabo.
Is Todd just leaving a trail of flames like a metal video as he heads up the hill?
Nice.
So, Todd, what's Sellers doing? Not her best day.
Not her best day. She's on fire.
Yeah,
And there's not an available water source.
sure. Well, the rain, but I mean,
Sure.
I mean, it's land between the lakes. Just run for a while.
a short 1.5 mile run.
Yeah. you
You'll be
can do that
fine.
on fire.
And you'll be in Kentucky Lake.
There's got to be a fjord,
Luckily,
right?
Oh, those Kentucky Lake fjords.
Yeah.
How I pine for them.
Yeah, we're the Poland of. Is that where fjords are?
Norway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Kentucky, the Scandinavia of America. That's what everyone says.
No,
Yes.
Poland.
Oh, right. Yes, the Poland.
It's
Excuse
not
me.
Scandinavia.
No,
fucking
it's
idiot.
ridiculous. Yeah. Todd?
What were we talking about?
I'm on fire.
Gestapo.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily, one of the couple of the things I wrote down that Agent Sellers had were tranquilizers and MDMA, aka Molly.
Yeah, which is yeah.
Okay.
So she's just gonna swallow all of that.
She's a mob doctor.
But yeah, because
what are
fire.
you going to do when you're on fire? Well, I'm going to first take some drugs.
Well, fire hurts, and
does.
she's gonna go down. She's gonna go down tripping balls.
I'm glad she's got her priorities in line.
Well,
A couple of years later, they would revamp the Smokey the Bear campaign because the leading cause of forest fires is fucking hallucinating mob doctors on fire.
And some say she's still out there to this day, causing forest fires. Maybe she crossed the border into Canada. We don't know.
If you're ever at LBL camping, go to the restroom, look in the mirror, turn out the light, and say Agent Sellers 5 times, as she will appear behind you.
No, some MDMA will appear in your pocket.
And only if you take it will singed sellers emerge from the woods and come track you down.
singed sellers.
Okay, well, so I'll just say you can take the drugs. It's not going to affect your fire, but you feel
yeah,
you're a lot happier about it.
that's the point.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, except for the mind-piercing pain and the smoke inhalation. Other than all those things,
Yes. Well, and also, like, she's thinking in her mind that if the zombie children eat her, then they will also eat the drugs she ingested and maybe that'll help the other guys.
Yeah,
it'll chill them out.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Okay, so I did forget about the zombie children. Thanks for mentioning that, Todd.
Oh,
that are
good.
still grappling you. Okay, so you only take 2 more points of damage from their bites. How many hit points do you have left? Where are you at?
Now I'm at 4 hit points.
Okay, so you need to put the fire out immediately in some way.
Stop, drop, and roll.
All right.
That was abolished by 1995, so not canon. Just saying.
I just want to point out that was the second instinct after
Drugs.
drop acid.
Yes.
So I think just dexterity.
Dexterity? Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
don't-
65.
I don't know that stop, drop, and roll is on the Delta Green character sheet.
Sure.
That's an oversight on their part.
Rolled a 19.
Well, you managed to put out the flames before you succumb. Randolph is nearby. These children are grappling onto you like leeches. Corey, what is Randolph going to do? Sellers is not on fire anymore.
But covered in zombie children.
Covered in zombie children.
Yeah.
More of them are closing in because it turns out stopping and dropping and rolling slows you down.
Yeah, I'm a physicist. I understand this. Randolph's going to the car
Okay.
to drive it, but he is going to kind of turn back. He has a pistol as well. We're all armed. We have sidearms.
Yeah.
And pop a few shots, at least to try to keep the horde away from the Daves.
Sure. Okay.
Because I think that's the goal here.
That is the goal.
Yeah, not save a nurse.
Roll your firearms.
Okay, got a 50% in firearms.
Now, all the kids are pretty close. They're swarming in and not doing anything to dodge, so you get a plus 20% bonus for point blank range.
Did I say pistol sidearm? I've got Jesse Ventura's gun from Predator. Okay, but it's a pistol.
Sure.
13.
13. Yeah.
Kill 13 children today.
Randolph is blasting zombies down left and right. The Daves are closing on the Jeep. Stewart is right behind him. And then appearing as if out of nowhere is this 15-foot tall, spindly humanoid. These are huge, this silent, almost shadowy creature. And it opens its arms wide and steps forward as if to embrace Dave, one, in a hug. Dave, one, just skids to a stop, shouts, "The strangers!" and tumbles backwards, trying to get away.
Stuart's going to yank him back out of the way and empty his pistol into the shadow figure.
Okay. Roll your firearms.
Okay.
Again, it's quite close, plus 20%.
Okay. So trying to beat a 70. It's a 38.
So we haven't really talked about damage because you've basically just been gunning down either mostly innocent people or just normal humans, right? Like even
Yeah.
these zombie monster children,
Yeah, they're just minions.
yeah, they're not full on Lovecraftian horrors. This thing is something else. Guns have in Delta Green they have a lethality rating and damage, which the damage on your pistol would be 1d10, and the lethality is 50%. If you hit the lethality, like the thing just dies.
Okay. So I'm rolling both the percentiles and D10.
Yeah, you roll the percentiles first, and if you hit it, you don't roll damage.
Oh,
It
okay,
just
cool.
dies.
All right.
Now, well, certain things like
Children.
Cthulhu, yeah, children,
Campers.
Yeah.
Karens, soccer moms.
All right. So I'm rolling to beat a 50 first. Ooh, that's a 2.
Jesus.
Well, Austin, what's it look like when you gun down this eldritch horror? So I'm not going to get into exactly what they are because you guys have figured out virtually none of that, but they're not on the level of they still have some very human characteristics. They're bizarre and strange, but they're not completely otherworldly. They have internal organs that bullets can explode.
Just like angels.
Just like what?
Yeah.
So Stuart just thinks back to his CDC training and aims 3 shots for center mass and then aims for the only things he can see, which are the glowing eyes of this shadow creature bearing down on him.
First thing I thought of was CDC. Same. Yeah.
Yeah. Getting his forklift certification. Yeah.
This is just
Did I say CDC?
Yeah. This is just like driving school.
He's concealed carry.
Yeah,
Oh,
I knew what you
okay.
meant. I
Yeah,
knew what you
yeah.
meant.
Yeah.
He trained in firearms with Dr. Fauci.
Yeah, of course.
So this spindly creature spins backward through the air, hits the ground, and just is gone. Behind you can Stuart turns to see Randolph gunning down the last of the zombie kids.
All right, kids, get in the Jeep.
Sellers chokes
Randolph
the last.
guns them down. I'm not kidding. Oh, sorry.
Sellers feeds the ones on her drugs, and they pass out.
Sellers gets in looking like Doug Jones's burnt vampire from What We Do in the Shadows.
Look, did anybody think to bring aloe vera?
Never met the woman myself.
The five of you pile into the Jeep, peel out of there. You drive entirely too fast down a very bad road to get back to something like a highway. And as you're heading west across the bridge, the sun starts to rise and the storm breaks. For now, the Daves are safe. But how the hell you're going to explain this to Dave Evans' parents, you're not sure. But we're going to end on that note.
We'll kill them all. Actually, Randolph is driving. He plummets us off the bridge. Because our Patreon members are not going to be happy for suggesting this game where we all survive, Kyle. How did you let that happen?
So how did that happen? Well, the priority of the creatures,
Yeah.
which they're called the Kenyani, their priority... no, those are the Moon Children, or the zombie kids.
Oh, okay.
But the Kenyani, their priority is to get the original Dave, and it is the original.
Okay.
So apparently they live in like underground caves, and they have this weird pseudo-advanced civilization, and they engineered Dave as this receptacle for like generating whatever the kind of weird food they eat. And if you'd gotten him around heat, more of that would have been revealed, but you never did.
Right. Here's the drawback to playing these kind of games, especially Cthulhu, like these mystery games for our format. That's
Yeah.
real hard. Like uncovering clues in this format where we're a very short form
Yeah.
podcast, like that's the bummer about Cthulhu because it's always a ton of fucking shit that we don't have time to explore.
To be fair, Kyle did kind of hammer home in the last episode that the kid did not like hot things or heat.
Sure.
And then reminded us again before we recorded tonight, remember the kid doesn't like hot things.
But what are we gonna do? Stick a car lighter on him?
I mean, right. I mean,
we're limited to like an hour and a half of recording time. Like how does that come up? Like narratively, like
I mean, sometimes the mystery will come up, sometimes it won't. I would argue in a Lovecraftian story, the less that's revealed, the better off the story is sometimes.
Well,
Yeah.
either way, I killed our characters, Patreon
That's fair.
members. So from here on, divert all your money to me directly.
Yeah, a lot of it, I don't know how you would have... Like, there's some stuff you could have figured out. Apparently the tattoo on the back of his neck has some connection to the Mesoamerican mythology.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Sometimes figuring out the mystery is not the point. With
I did try to push the button.
That's true.
That's true.
Well, and again, just to reiterate, like Austin, Todd, and I are not experienced role-playing players.
Right.
Well,
Like,
hey.
I would be very fascinated to play some of these games like in a long form, like
Yeah.
like a real session, other than just trying to make funs.
Yeah.
Well, I got to give Todd credit because the absolute right thing to do was to threaten to blow away Dave.
Oh, really?
I
Oh,
think
good.
so because
Well,
that is
Not as a GM or just as a person.
no. I mean,
Right.
that is what the monsters wanted, and it's really like when I was reading through this, I was thinking
That's your
I
only
don't-
bargain chip.
I was thinking why do, I couldn't understand what because it's like implied that there's going to be a standoff, and the whole time I was thinking I don't understand why the monsters wouldn't just storm in and kill everybody.
Yeah.
And then Todd gave me a reason because that was going to happen next.
oh, Lord.
So I saved everyone.
Yeah, basically.
And I killed everyone.
And you got burned for it.
I did.
Well, because they were willing to give you a Dave, but once it became clear like that didn't matter, they were just going to be resort to I guess bloodbath.
Yeah.
Well, hey, that was fun. We have a lot of fun here on Bastard Quest. But you know what's even more fun? Being a Patreon member of Bastard Quest.
Yeah, thanks to all our Patreon members. This game was suggested by Patreon members over on the Discord, which, if you're on Patreon, you can join our Discord. Look at all kinds of wacky shit.
And I think all the major NPCs in this adventure were Patreon members. So if you like this and you want to hear Session Zeros and other zany things, check out patreon.com/PastorQuest.
And again, do want to bring this up. If you don't want us to use your name, if you want to throw us some bucks and don't want us to use your name, because we did have a recent subscriber who was like, please don't use my name.
Completely understandable.
Yeah, we're totally fine with that. So, like, just shoot us a message when you sign up, and we won't use your name if you aren't comfortable with that.
And feel free to give us a suggestion for a name to use in honor of you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that was Dave Evans. He did not want his name.
Oh, yeah.
But no, we cannot thank our patrons enough. We love you guys, and we appreciate you supporting the podcast. And thank you.
And to all of our regular listeners, thank you so much for your engagement, your likes, your reviews.
And all of our listeners get a discount at NorseFoundry.com on any of their dice, cars, or other meals. At checkout, use the discount code CHAM, CHAM, and you get 10% off anything you buy at NorseFoundry.com.
And if you're thinking, why Cham? Well, go back and listen to our episode on Alien or Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yes. And also thank you to our sponsor, Barrel and Bond, 100 Broadway Street at the foot of the Ohio River in beautiful downtown Paducah.
I did MDMA in the bathroom.
I don't like to complain about their staff, but there are too many moon children just working there. They're great bussing tables. Don't get me wrong.
They work cheap, Kyle.
They're bourbon, not flammable.
Yeah, don't splash your friends with fictional bourbon. Thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. My name's Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.